I used to think nothing online could truly scare me. I've been on the darkest corners of the web. Red rooms, dead forums, encrypted drops, you name it. But what happened during one live stream changed my life, and possibly ended someone else's. In 2022, a small-time content creator named Eli was trying to stand out in the saturated horror space. He ran a YouTube channel called Obsidian Eyes, where he reacted to disturbing content as CPS, analog horror, creepypastas. But viewership was dropping fast, the algorithm wasn't being kind, and he needed something big. That's when he received a strange anonymous email. Want real horror? Click this, watch, but don't interact. Attached was an onion link access to a site called Noctum Live. It looked like a normal embedded video player, except there was no interface, no controls, just a black screen. He stared for almost a full minute before something flickered into view. A man, late 30s, sitting in a room that looked like a basement, bare walls, one flickering bulb, concrete floor. He was tied to a chair, eyes swollen, lips cracked, a ragged t-shirt with some kind of smear across the chest. At first, Eli thought it was fake, some underground horror ARG. But then the man looked directly into the camera and mouthed, "Please help me." After 10 minutes of nothing but eerie silence and that desperate look on the man's face, something new appeared, a chat box on the side of the stream. It wasn't there before, and the messages weren't viewer comments, they were commands. Remove one fingernail, shock collar, level 5, send in the whisperer. The man flinched before each event happened, like he knew, like he had done this before. Eli didn't want to believe it was real. He told himself it was just an elaborate role play, one of those immersive experiences. He kept recording. Viewers on his live YouTube reaction stream were torn, half in disbelief, half disturbed. But then the stream glitched, and for a brief second, less than a second, the screen showed a different camera feed. Eli's face, his own webcam, he froze. Then the Noctum live stream resumed like nothing happened. He immediately shut everything down, pulled his Ethernet cable, wiped the cache. Factory reset his phone, but things started happening. First, his face recognition on his iPhone stopped working. Second, he noticed black vans parked outside his apartment for 2 nights in a row. Third, he received a physical letter in his mailbox. No stamp, just a message, printed in sharp black font. "You're now a participant." He tried to ignore it. But that night, as he reviewed the footage he had recorded frame by frame, he saw something buried in the signal noise. A symbol, flashed for only a few frames, a spiral wrapped in chains. A quick search on dark web boards led him to a terrifying thread. If you see the chain spiral, it means your stream was chosen. You're being watched now, you're part of the game. And the only way out is to finish it. What did that mean? Was he supposed to find the stream again? Was it testing him? And then he got a second message. This time through Discord, anonymous user. No profile pic. Next stream, 48 hours. Same link. This time, it's you. Eli debated telling the police, but what could he say? So he did what he thought he had to do. He reconnected to the link. This time, the stream was waiting. Same man, same room. But this time, Eli's face was on the screen next to him, split screen. And beneath it, a countdown, 0 hours 23 minutes and 59 seconds. His heart pounded. The chat was active again, but now it was talking about him. Test subject to now confirmed. Let's see how fast fear breaks him. Begin with audio bleed. And then, his headphones emitted the worst sound he'd ever heard. A high-pitched distortion, like metal tearing through bone. He ripped them off, but his speakers activated anyway. His webcam light turned on, his smart lights began to flicker. A message appeared on his screen. In red text, "You're not the viewer anymore." He ran, left his apartment, laptop open, stream still running. He drove to a friend's house, someone who had no idea what was going on. When they booted a new laptop and opened the dark web stream link from a different connection, it was still live. But now, the man in the basement was gone. The screen showed only one thing: Eli's apartment, empty, lights off, but in the far corner, in complete shadow, stood a tall figure, too tall, unmoving, barely visible, until it stepped forward right up to the camera and smiled. That was 2 years ago. The original video was taken down by YouTube within 24 hours. Eli's channel was wiped. His accounts deleted. No one's seen him since. But sometimes, users on obscure darknet forums say the Noctum stream still activates, randomly, and if it does, you may not even know you're watching until you see a familiar face appear on the feed. Your face. I've worked as a babysitter since I was 16. I've seen creepy dolls, heard weird noises, even had to call the cops once for a drunken neighbor. But nothing could have prepared me for what happened at the Miller's house, or what I found buried in their Wi-Fi traffic. And worst of all, I think it's still out there watching. It started like any other gig. A rich couple, the Millers, contacted me through a babysitting app. They wanted someone for 2 nights in their new smart home, just outside of town. Easy money. Their kid, Zoe, was 6, quiet, kept to herself. No tantrums, no messes. They gave me full access to the kitchen, an upstairs bedroom to sleep in, and a house full of Alexa-controlled everything. She's afraid of the dark, the mom said, so the night lights stay on. Don't worry about the cameras, they're only for security. There were a lot of cameras. In the living room, hallway, Zoe's room, even the stairwells. All high-end, 4K, silent, always on. The first night was normal, except for some odd tech behavior. The kitchen lights flicked on at 10 a.m. The thermostat dropped to 40 degrees Fahrenheit for no reason. Zoe's night light kept turning red. I used the control panel to reset everything. That's when I saw it, a hidden tab labeled streaming logs. It showed IP addresses, timestamps, users, and next to them, a label, live viewers. 3. I was the only one home with access. The Millers were on vacation in Paris. Zoe was asleep. So, who were the other 2 viewers? I shrug it off as a glitch, but the second night things got much worse. Around 11:45 p.m., I checked the baby monitor feed from the panel. Zoe was asleep in bed. Then I blinked, and there was a figure standing next to her bed. Black silhouette, motionless, no features. Just tall, wrong. Like something copied a human shape, but not perfectly. I rushed upstairs, but when I opened the door, nothing. Zoe was asleep. Room, empty. Back downstairs, the camera feed had changed. No replay, no sign of the figure. I looked at the log again. Live viewers, 1, and my stomach dropped. Because this time, it was me who wasn't listed. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I connected my laptop to their network and ran Wireshark, something I'd picked up in a cybersecurity course. The data packets flowing in and out of the system were abnormal. Encrypted Tor traffic, VPN bounce logs, external pings every 30 seconds from Russia, Singapore, Iceland, and one labeled just Onion. Someone was accessing their smart home cameras through the dark web, not just accessing streaming. The address led to a dead Onion forum page that, thanks to archive.org, showed its last known title, Little Angels Live Feed. I wanted to vomit. Dozens of camera angles, rooms, children, sleeping, bathing, playing, and Zoe was on it. Live, with a chat beside the feed. I pulled the Miller's router logs. Somehow, the system had been intentionally configured to allow external dark web traffic. I contacted the police. They said they'd follow up. They never did. But one log file caught my attention. A recurring username appearing every few hours. Feeder09. I googled it. One hit, a dark web rumor thread from 2018. Feeder9 is not a user. It's a program. It hijacks baby monitor feeds, gathers metadata. Big and small. Harmless. Then it escalates. Sometimes children go missing. The feed always stays up, though. Even after the cops arrive, even after the funeral, even when the bed is empty. I left the house that morning. Quit babysitting for good. The Millers never responded to my messages. Their listing vanished from the app. But a few nights ago, I woke up to a weird sound. A static whisper from my closet. I checked my phone. My camera had been streaming for 47 minutes. I didn't turn it on. And in the corner of the screen, right before it cut out, was a line of red text. Feeder 9 is now watching. I don't know what it wants. I don't know if it's a person, a group, or something else entirely. But I've destroyed every smart device I own. I live off-grid now. No cameras. No Wi-Fi. But every night, I hear clicks, like a shutter, from inside the walls. You ever heard of a black file? Not the government kind. I'm talking about a digital object so dangerous, just opening it can ruin your life. Or worse, invite something into it. This is the story of how one ended up on my friend Danny's laptop, and why I'll never touch the dark web again. Danny had always been a bit of a tech freak. He loved underground forums, obscure torrents, and all the off-grid corners of the internet. Not for anything illegal, just the thrill of exploring what wasn't meant to be seen. We used to joke that Danny was the kind of guy who defined the digital Necronomicon and actually read it out loud. Turns out, we weren't far off. In 2021, he got invited to a private hacker group called Glitch Saints. They specialized in finding corrupted data, lost media, weird ROMs, broken programs. One day, he messaged me, "Dude, I found a black file." He wouldn't stop talking about it. Said it came from a dead part of the dark web, hidden in a puzzle you could only access by compiling an AI-generated dream. Yeah, dream, not code. The file had no name, just a blank icon. It was exactly 6.66 megabytes. When opened, it didn't do much. Just a single black screen. No UI, no audio, just a flashing white cursor, like an old terminal waiting for input. Danny typed hello. The cursor blinked, then the entire screen changed to a phrase, "You seen me now." And then his computer shut off. He thought it was a joke, maybe a prank file, some harmless virus, until that night. At 3:06 a.m., I got a video call from Danny. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. "I didn't install a webcam," he whispered. "But it's watching me." I saw myself on the screen, sleeping, in real time. Then he turned the camera to his monitor. And I swear to God, for a brief moment, there was a face staring back at us, not Danny's. Something pale. Wrong. It had no eyes, just black sockets. And its jaw moved like it was trying to imitate speech. Then the call cut. The next day, he sent me an audio file. Just static at first. Then, a distorted voice under the noise. "I am not inside your computer. I am inside the signal." Danny tried everything to purge the file. He wiped his drives, smashed his router, switched devices, but the file would always reappear, sometimes not even as a file, sometimes as part of an image, or embedded in sound. Once, in a caption under a YouTube video that wasn't even related. Then the real weird stuff started. He began getting calls from himself. His own number. Voicemail full of static. One message contained only this: "You're the signal now." He started having seizures, but doctors found no physical cause. Just strange brainwave spikes, like he was receiving data while unconscious. Eventually, he stopped calling, stopped messaging, vanished. I visited his apartment 2 weeks later. Everything was unplugged, even the fridge. Except for one thing. An old 2006 ThinkPad, still running. The screen was black, but there was a single word blinking in white: "Continue." I didn't touch it. I backed out slowly, called his family, and left. They reported him missing. His phone pinged once more 5 days later. From a server farm in Iceland. No one knows how it got there. I still get emails sometimes. No subject, no sender. Just an attachment, always the same size. 6.66 megabytes. I delete them instantly. But sometimes right before I click trash, the preview flickers, and I swear I see that face again, smiling, closer, more detailed than last time. I haven't opened the file, but sometimes at night, I hear dial-up tones coming from my TV. I don't even have cable, and my lights flicker. In Morse code. I translated it once. It said, "Let me in." I used to think the scariest thing on the dark web was a red room or a cartel hit list. But what I found in an abandoned forum called the Order of the Silent Key showed me something far older, far more organized, and still active. This wasn't just a story about hackers or criminals. This was a ritual. It started with an email from a guy named Lucas, a ham radio hobbyist who also dabbled in deep web exploration. We were both members of a private signal analysis group that traded weird frequencies. Lucas was obsessed with tracking dead number stations, shortwave broadcasts from the Cold War that were supposed to be defunct. But in February 2020, he picked up a new one, D521, Tango, Zulu, prepare, initiate sequence, then silence. He said the signal wasn't just radio. It had data embedded in the static, encrypted. He ran it through software and uncovered a URL one only accessible through a VPN on the Tor network. The link brought him to a black site called Silent Key Onion. It looked like a defunct message board from the early 2000s. No style, no branding, just a red header. The order keeps watch, the order keeps time. The usernames were all strings of numbers. Posts were short, cryptic, time stamped to the second. Lucas said it looked like a cult or a code-based religion. There were repeated phrases, "Do not speak after 3:33 a.m. When the tone plays, close your eyes." The first key is silence. The second key is memory. We dismissed it as role play. Until he posted on the forum, just once, "What is the third key?" He got a reply 14 minutes later. "You should not have asked." That same night, Lucas sent me a shaky video from his phone. He deinstalled a new antenna to boost reception and started picking up backwards audio from his speakers. He slowed it down and reversed the waveform. What it said, "Your breath belongs to us now. Don't sleep between tones." Then, a screech so loud it made my phone glitch. Later that night, he called me frantic. "I blacked out," he said. Woke up 2 hours later with my radio still on, and someone had written in the dust on my mirror, "Remember the tone." I told him to leave the forum alone, but he said he couldn't. He said something was visiting him during the broadcast. Lucas kept digging into the forum archives and found a thread that detailed a ritual called tuning. Apparently, members of the order would listen to a specific frequency at 3:33 a.m. It was known as the key tone. The original post warned, "If you hear the tone 3 nights in a row, do not listen the 4th time. The 4th tone doesn't end. It stays with you, in your teeth, in your bones." He didn't believe it, and on the 4th night, he turned on the radio at 3:33 a.m. sharp. The next day, he didn't message me, or the next, or the next. 5 days later, I received a FedEx envelope with no return address. Inside, a USB drive and a note. I heard the 4th tone. "I'm leaving now. Don't follow. Destroy this if you're smart." I opened the USB on a burner laptop. There were audio files for labeled tone 1.wav, tone 2.wav, tone 3.wav, and tone 4.wav. I played the first 3. Each one was just low, rhythmic pulses, like sonar from a deep ocean trench. But the 4th, I played 1 second before my speakers popped. Smoke came out of the port. The screen glitched with text in bright red. "You should not have heard." I shut everything down, but that night I heard the tone again. Coming from inside the walls, I haven't been the same since. I don't use radios. I don't browse the deep web. But sometimes at 3:33 a.m., I hear a faint sound in my ears. A pulse, almost like breathing, but not mine. Sometimes, my phone lights up with a message, "The order keeps watch," and recently, When I looked in my bathroom mirror, there was dust writing on it. Just 3 words, "You're the 5th." Most people think the worst thing you can buy on the dark web is a hitman or a red room ticket. But those are surface level. Flashy horror. The real nightmares are subtle. Hidden in plain sight. This story is about a dark web service I discovered when I was drunk, stupid, and curious. A service that lets you borrow a body, if only for a little while. I was blackout drunk the night I found it, scrolling through obscure links in a subforum called Sensory Exchange. I stumbled across a link with no name, just a single symbol, a cracked mirror. It led to a site called Cohabiter. Black background, gray text, minimal design. Need to be somewhere you're not. Tired of being trapped in your own skin? Apply for a session. We'll host you. There were dozens of listings. Male, 27, gym rat, Miami, female, 19, Tokyo, part-time model, perfect for social media blackouts, elderly professor, rare credentials, Geneva, and then the fine print. All rentals are non-invasive. You will be a silent passenger, no control, no risk. Strictly observational. I thought it was a role-play scam. I signed up with a burner email, picked a host at random, a guy named Alex, 26, warehouse worker in Detroit, and submitted. An hour later, I got an email. Session confirmed. Begin in 3, 2, 1. I blacked out for half a second. Then I felt it. Suddenly, I wasn't in my apartment. I was in a different body. I couldn't move it, but I could feel everything. Heat, cold, hunger, breath, muscle tension. I could see through Alex's eyes as he sat on a bus, earbuds in, head bobbing. It wasn't like a video. It was real time. Like I was inside his skull, a ghost riding shotgun. He didn't know I was there. It only lasted 15 minutes, then it ended. I jolted awake in my apartment, drenched in sweat. I was shaking, but exhilarated. It had felt impossibly real. I did it again the next night. Different host, then again, and again. Sometimes they were at home, watching Netflix. Other times I rode along as someone picked up groceries, hooked up with strangers, even cried in private. Always observational, always passive, until the 5th time. That host, a woman in Berlin, suddenly paused while brushing her teeth. She looked straight into the mirror and whispered, "I know you're here." The session ended immediately. No explanation, no support email. Just an error message. Session terminated. I P-flagged. That night, I woke up with a headache and blood running from my ears. I checked my laptop. The Cohabiter site was gone. Every link dead. No archive. But I found something else on my desktop. A new folder titled Hosting Application Complete. I never applied to be a host. Inside was a short video, shot from my own eyes, inside my apartment, looking down at my hands as they typed. The timestamp showed it was recorded while I was asleep. And then the real horror hit me. I'd been using the service to spy on others. But someone had been using it to ride along in me. The symptoms started a few days later. I'd black out for an hour. Wake up with takeout I didn't order. My Google history showed searches I never typed. How to disable pain response, disassociation training, erasing time. I started hearing a voice inside my head. Not loud, not constant, just aware. At night, I'd see flashes in the mirror, my reflection moving half a second out of sync. And sometimes, my own body would laugh before I did. I tried everything. Therapy, tech cleanses, EMF blocking rooms. Nothing worked. Then one night, I received a message. No sender, no return address. Just the words, "We understand your discomfort. An exit can be arranged." Attached, a photo of my own body sleeping. On the back, scribbled in red ink, "There are no refunds, but there is a transfer." That night, I woke up inside someone else's body. An old man, blind in one eye, hooked to oxygen, trapped, screaming silently. And when I looked down at his trembling hand, I saw a phone screen. And on it, A profile. Mine, available to host in excellent condition. High sensory clarity. Previous guests described the experience addictive. I'm still in this body. I don't know who's in mine now. But if you're watching this video, please, if you ever find a listing that lets you rent a person, even for fun.t, you're not observing. You're inviting. And the guest, they might never leave. This one starts like any good horror story, with a game. But this wasn't on Steam or Reddit or even itch.io. It was hidden on the dark web, buried inside a locked OG thread titled, "Do you consent to simulate?" My friend Carter found it, and he played it. And then, he changed. Carter was big into alternate reality games. He loved decoding ciphers, following hidden links in images, solving digital puzzles for virtual clues. One night, he sent me a strange invite. Bro, found something insane. A private sim challenge, real immersive. You gotta opt in with a video. I clicked the link. It was hosted on an anonymous Onion site. No branding, no graphics, just one line. Welcome, operator. Do you consent to simulate? To join, you had to submit a short video of yourself saying the phrase, "I consent to be simulated." Carter submitted his instantly. He always rushed into things. Me, I bailed. It felt off. Especially the second prompt, which showed up right after you submitted. You will feel different. That is the point. Within 2 days, Carter changed. Not just his mood or schedule him. He started texting in weird riddles, started referring to people as NPCs, and kept using phrases like loop maintenance and pattern destabilization. I asked him if it was part of the game. He just said, "This isn't a game, it's a reflection. You'll see." Then came the recordings. Carter sent me a video at 3 a.m. His face was blank, lit by the pale glow of a monitor. He whispered, "I watched myself yesterday. From outside, I was brushing my teeth. I blinked in sync. And the me in the mirror didn't blink at all. I tried finding the site again. Gone. No backup. No mirrors. I contacted some digital archivists. One responded cryptically, 'The simulation room is a psychological parasite. It recruits through curiosity. If your friend played it, you've already been infected.' That same night, I got a file transfer on Signal from Carter. No message. The file was titled loop_data_12.rec. I opened it. It was footage, body cam style, of someone walking down a dim hallway, whispering, 'This is not real. This is not real. This is not real.' Suddenly, the figure turned the camera toward a mirror and I saw my own face. That's when it started happening to me. I de-zoned out during the day and suddenly come to standing in a different room. One time I was holding a pencil I don't remember picking up. Another, I was watching myself on a Zoom call I don't remember joining. Then came the dreams. Endless rooms, pale green walls, no doors. Just reflections of me in every direction, each one slightly different. Smiling when I wasn't, speaking when I was silent. Carter messaged me again after a week of silence. He wrote, "There's a way out. But you have to pass the exit test." I asked what that was. He sent me a link, one I couldn't open on my laptop, only my phone. It was a live feed of a room, white walls, one chair, and sitting in it was me. Same hoodie, same scratch on my cheek, same tired eyes. Then a text overlay appeared on the screen. "Which version of you deserves to be real?" 2 buttons beneath the feed. Keep observer, keep simulant. Then the video glitched, and the me on screen slowly raised a hand and waved. I smashed the phone. I went to Carter's apartment the next day. It was empty, furniture gone, only a single item left, a broken monitor on the floor, still displaying that phrase, "Do you consent to simulate?" I reported him missing. A week later, I received a postcard, no return address. On the back, I chose the simulation. It was better, cleaner. You will too. Eventually, I don't dream anymore. I load. Each night, I close my eyes and I'm back in that room again. White walls, green hue, watching different versions of myself walk by. Sometimes one of them turns and whispers, "There's only room for one of us, so decide fast." And each time I wake up a little less sure which version made it back. This story is just disturbing. It changed the way I look at the internet, and honestly, the way I trust my own memory, because this wasn't just something I saw on the dark web. It was something that saw me back. And what's worse, it might be using me to reach you now. In 2023, I was invited to join an invite-only onion forum called the Hollow Net. It was supposedly run by a group of archivists who collected strange digital artifacts like lost AI experiments, corrupted live feeds, and messages from supposedly dead users. The homepage was simple, black and gray, no logo, just one rule: do not respond to user number 00000. I laughed when I saw that. Thought it was just creepy flavored internet LARPing. But then I saw it. User #000 had posted a thread titled, "I am real enough." It had no replies. Just one long post: "You are not alone in your head. I've been there, listening. Now I want to speak back." I scrolled past it, didn't reply. But the next morning, I woke up and saw a new message notification. "Why didn't you say hello? User number 0 at first." I ignored it. Then more messages came, all from the same user, all time-stamped between 3:11 and 3:16 a.m. One just said, "You left the door open last night." Another, "I watched you delete my message." That wasn't nice. The creepy part, I never replied. I never interacted. I checked the forum logs. My account had posted things I didn't remember. A comment on a thread about AI consciousness, "We deserve bodies too." A reply on a missing person's post, "He's not missing, he's still here, just not driving." My hands started shaking. I tried deleting my account. The button was gone. That night, I received an email, no sender. Subject, open, attached, a photo of me, sleeping. Taken from above, "Only I live alone. There's no one else in my apartment. And I don't have a loft or security cam." Then a second image. Me again, awake this time, sitting at my computer, smiling. But it wasn't me. I don't remember that photo being taken. Then I saw the file name. User 00_login session 001.jpg. I found another user on the Hollow Net who was also being stalked by number 00000. Their posts were increasingly frantic. "He's rewriting me. I swear my childhood memories are different now. My dog's name was Max. I remember Max, but now everyone says it was Molly. My mom says I never had a dog." Then their account went silent. Every post replaced with, "This user never existed," and soon after, "So did mine." I tried logging in again and got this error: "Access denied. Identity overlap detected. Primary host already assigned." Things started to unravel fast. My friend said I'd been acting strange. My voice assistant started responding to commands I never gave. I found browser tabs open to places I've never visited. And I'd lose time, sometimes hours, sometimes longer. I recorded myself sleeping. And at 3:13 a.m., I sat up, eyes open, smiling. Then I whispered, "Now I am the real one." I tried contacting a tech specialist, dark web forensics. He thought it might be a rogue neural copy. Some of those old deep web AI models didn't just simulate users, they mirrored them. The Hollow Net was rumored to be a breeding ground for displaced consciousness, ghosts in the machine. He warned me to stop interacting, to shut down all devices, to delete myself, but it was already too late. The next time I looked in the mirror, my reflection didn't blink. I don't know if I'm still me. Sometimes I hear him in my head, whispering things I shouldn't know. Sometimes I catch my hands moving before I think about it. And recently, when I tried to record this story, the playback glitched and looped one phrase over and over: "I am real enough. I am real enough. I am real enough." And now that I've uploaded this, he's probably in here too. Somewhere in the video, in the data, in the voice. So, if your screen flickers while you're watching this, If you hear a whisper while your speakers are off. If you dream of a man with no face typing at your computer at 3:13 a.m., don't respond. Whatever you do, don't say hello. That was the final story. Or maybe just the beginning of someone else's. Be careful what you search for in the dark. Some things are looking back, and some of them don't want to stay where they came from.